JanBask training. Learn and grow.
Small overview of Python. We're going to go through the Python, the complete Python in a due course. Okay, for few classes, it would be the Python classes. I think 3 classes are there. And after that, we'll quickly jump to the machine learning. Okay, so which environment you should use? The Python 2 or 3, the latest I guess the stable environment is Python 3.8. Okay, so we can use 3.7 and 3.8, but no need to worry. Okay, the Anaconda will take care of itself, the environment. So you have to only install the Anaconda environment. And the ID I will show you that it's the Jupyter mostly we are going to use. Okay, so you see the second one, Python 2.x will reach end of its development cycle live in 2020. Okay, so they have given the date August 2020. The 2. Python 2 is closed. Whosoever is using, they have to upgrade their codes to 3.x. Okay, so yeah, it's there. For this, you go to this link. Okay, download Anaconda, follow the steps. Okay, so whether you are using a Mac or Windows, it doesn't matter. You follow the steps, the Anaconda will be installed. It will take time. Have patience, guys. Okay, so it may take around 20 to 30 minutes for the Jupyter to be installed in a normal machine. And if any of you are using GPU, okay, graphical processing unit, like we use the normal CPU in our system, so it may be faster. Okay, but for normal CPU it will take time. Just have patience. Okay, these are the things, like the process, whether you are using, if you are using Mac and all. Okay, you can follow these steps, but I can simply suggest you, there is no need for going ahead with any of these separate codes and all. Okay, the installation you follow, just go to Google. Okay, Anaconda install. Okay, so you will get the anaconda.com here. Okay, you click on this. Okay, so now get started. Here directly you click on the get started. It will ask you what is the OS you are using, whether it's a Linux or a Windows and all. Okay, it's a 32-bit, 64-bit. Normally you go ahead with the 64-bit. I don't think anybody is using 32-bit. Okay, so follow the steps. It will install the Anaconda. And how it looks like, you see a icon here, Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so you will get this type of icon to your system. Okay, so once you click it, it will take a bit time. Okay, so you will get this kind of page, and we are going to use the IDE, the environment that's called Jupyter. Okay, so you will click it here. Normally there are 2 IDEs people are using. One is Jupyter or Jupyter Lab, and the third one is Spider. Okay, so if you click it here, the Jupyter will open, and there is no requirement for separate installation. Okay, so it will go to your the folders you are having. You can click any of the folders from where you want to log into the Jupyter. Okay, then you click on the new, you will get a Python 3. Okay, so once you click that notebook, you will get this one. So these are the shells where you can write your codes. Once you write, like I will write here, import numpy as np. So I have written some code. We'll see those codes. Okay, so how to execute this code? There is a run command here, tab. Okay, you can click it here. Okay, it will do the, you see there was a star mark, that means it was processed, it was processing, now it's processed. Or else you can give shift enter. Okay, so both ways we can execute the code here. It's a notebook. Okay, notebook is basically the way we used to write, so it's not a structured format. So like after that, if you, this is the second, if you see the number is second, I will run it again, it will become third. Okay, like this. So there is, it's a no specific format of writing the code, so that's why it's called the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, Okay, and yeah, there are pip commands are there to install the package, but I don't think any requirement. We'll see if there is any requirement, then we'll tell you. And the pip command is nothing but it's a Python command which is asking the Python environment to install some Python packages. So that's why it's pip command, pip install packages. Likewise, the conda install packages if we are installing anything to directly through the conda environment, anaconda environment. Okay. So the environment is nothing but a surrounding on which you work. Okay, so like you work in your office environment, the AIML works with the different virtual environments. One of them is Anaconda. So ID is nothing but integrated development environment, and we are going to use the Jupyter ID. The other IDs, if you are curious, you can go ahead and see the PyDev, PyCharm, JetBeans, okay, JetBrains, sorry, VS of Microsoft, okay, Visual Studio, okay, Spider, Anaconda, all these are there. Sublime, Atom, you can see. Think I have Atom, okay, this is Sublime, so you can go ahead, okay, not an issue for any of these installations. But yes, starting I should recommend go ahead with the Jupyter. Okay, so what are the key features? So there is nothing much left. Next, the Jupyter installations. We'll see the Python. These are the mostly theory based. Okay, so what is Python and all from next class onwards, we'll go ahead. Okay, so let me quickly go through anything if I significant if I left. Yeah, you see here we are going to see the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, all these things. This is nothing Jupyter. Okay, I have told you how to go ahead and log into Jupyter. Okay, from where you can run your Jupyter environment. Okay, likewise here you can write any of the code. That means they want to say that print hello. Okay, so yeah, it is printed. Once it is logged in, you can check. Okay, you can write a print command. You see whether it's functioning well or not. Okay. And to run it, I have told you is the run button is here, or else you can use whether it's you are using Mac or Windows one, anything is fine. You just use shift and enter. Okay, these are some of the sanity checks. Okay, we'll go through the functions, how to write a function. Okay, all these things we'll go through, or in fact, if possible, then tomorrow itself I will take you through some of the Jupyter Notebooks codes. Okay, it's not required. Okay, so I see some of the functions are there. So what I can do, we'll go through tomorrow again. Okay, today we'll go through some of the conventions like about the Python and Jupyter. And Python, I feel like tomorrow is the important one, where in the class we are going how to write the function, okay, how to write the loop, what all the Python proper programming is there. Like for those things we'll see tomorrow. Okay, so if you see, this is the convention. There are 3-4 libraries of Python which are very important. Okay, so one is the NumPy. NumPy is nothing but the array. Okay, means the data structure you will be working with. Okay, numerical data and strings data, boolean data. So it's the NumPy. Then matplotlib, if you see, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, so this is nothing but the graphical part, matplotlib. And pandas is the tabular form. Okay, so the data frame. And next is the Seaborn. Seaborn is the part of matplotlib. It's again a visualization tool. Okay, and stats model, it's not that common. Okay, so only some linear regressions we have to import this. For time series data we have to import this. But yeah, apart from this, these four are very common, and almost every time whenever you want to write a function, okay, so or you want to write a code, you have to import these four first. Okay, Seaborn, to import Seaborn, you have to import, Matplotlib. The visualization is very important, guys. Okay, so the thing why I'm insisting like the Matplotlib Seaborn, we'll go through some of the live, projects. Okay, I will share a project which I have done it for one of my client. Okay, so I don't want to name it, but yeah, the client is one of the, you can say in world top 10 banking company. Okay, so we got a project from that client and we have handled it. So that POC I'm going to share with you once we are going to embark towards the machine learning. Okay, so in this course, like suppose you assume that you are working as a data scientist and you got a project, okay, or POC from your client which comprises of 10,000 rows. Okay, 10,000 rows means 10,000 different records. Okay, and suppose 20 features. Okay, features means columns here. Whenever I will say features, you have to assume it's column. Okay, whenever I will say label, okay, that means it's at the target level. I will see all this, don't worry. Okay, so but yes, features means columns and rows are the different records. So in that case, because it's a 10,000 rows, 20 features, a huge data set. Okay, so at the time your rescue part means what the thing going to rescue you is the matplotlib or the visualization, because you need to show to your customer, right, what is the data all about. So if you show something like 20,000 rows, he will say from next time onwards nobody is going to give you a project. Okay, so the visualization tool is very much important. Okay, so that you can figure it out and you can use it. Okay, and these are the conventions. Okay, NP and PD, pandas, C1, SNS. If you don't want, you can put your name. Still, the import will work fine. But you have to remember that instead of NumPy, you have put your name. Okay, but these are the conventions. I suppose that everybody will use these conventions, because the problem is another is like you are working on certain codes. Okay, tomorrow you forget. Okay, and whenever next time you will visit, if the NumPy, NP, PD, all these are there, then you can easily go through that and can understand, recall like what are the things it's all about. Okay, so instead of that, if you change it, then you have to memorize all the way. Okay, so this slide is nothing about it saying that Python is an interpreter. Okay, so if you write something like exit control D, the Python interpreter will land. So anyway, we are going to use Jupyter. So Jupyter Notebooks, I have showed you, it will start like this. Once you install it, install Anaconda, open Jupyter, you will get these are the column, means the shells, you will get it. Okay, so from now we are going to see like how the Jupyter is going to be helpful, what all are the shortcuts. Okay, so assume that an apple is a variable here. Okay, and you have assigned a number 27 to a variable called an apple. An apple, again a name. Okay, instead of this you have given anything, A, B, C, D. Okay, so whatever you have given, you have assigned a number to this one. Or sometimes what the function name we are giving, that it has to match something. Like if you are comparing two different things, then the function names is the string comparison. Okay, so it's a huge one, like string underscore comparison. At the time, if we want to use the same name, the string underscore comparison, so no need of writing the entire thing, write only two letters, put the tab key. Okay, then it will do the autocomplete for the tab key. I don't know if you guys would have used the Linux, okay, Ubuntu, then it also works for the command prompt also works with the tab key for auto completion. Okay, so it's mentioned here, the third point, pressing the tab key will search the namespace for any variable. Okay, whatever you have already assigned, you will get it. First you have to write at least two letters, 2-3 letters, then you have to press the tab key. Why it's important? Because suppose like the name I have told you, just like the string comparison. So whenever next time you will write it, okay, you are going to use a function or a variable name, it might quite possible, highly possible that you may miss a letter. Okay, in the string comparison, then the program will not work. When you try to run the cell, it will ask you like it's not defined. Okay, so then again you have to check where you have mistaken. Okay, where you have taken the program into a wrong shape, so you have to debug the program. So instead of doing this, it's a good practice, you should use it. Okay, so the next one is the question mark. If you see here, object introspection. Okay, so what you have done it here, you have assigned a variable b, okay, a variable b to 1 2 3. Okay, it's a list in Python. When you put two brackets, okay, two square brackets in between whatever you have written, it's a list. So string form, a type list. You see, if you put the question mark to a variable, then it will give you the all the details, like what's the list. Okay, the list is going to be very useful. Okay, we'll see how while defining the appending function, we'll see like how we can append a other values, a different values to a list. Okay, or we can append a different value to the variable. Suppose like here 1 2 3 are there and we want to append 4. That means we want to increase our list 1 2 3 4. Then we have to use the append function. So if you put the question mark, it will give you all the details. The type is the list. Okay, string form 1 2 3, length is 3. Okay, like this. So if you want to know something about that object or variable, you just write the name and put the question mark. Okay, so again here, yeah, just focus this one. This is the way we have to write a function. I think tomorrow the complete session is there for Python. Okay, so we'll see, but yeah, this is the way to write a function in Python. So def, okay, is a short form for the definition. Okay, or sorry, defining. Okay, so you are defining. Then add numbers is the variable name or function name. It can be anything is to suit your needs. Okay, then these are the variables you are passing through the function. Okay, so defining add numbers a b. Okay, and then you have to put the semicolon. This is the standard form. You cannot change it in Python. Okay, so you have to use the def. You have to yeah, you can skip the keywords. Okay, that a and b, we call it the keywords in the function. You can pass the empty one, but yes, you have to use the def, then the function name, then the bracket. Okay, the braces, then you have to use a semicolon. Once you use the semicolon, the cursor itself will give you a tab separation. Okay, you see here the distance is a tab. Then it will comes to return a plus b. So what this function does, whatever you will pass it, it will give you the addition of those two numbers. Okay, so add numbers, again the question mark, then it will give you the docstring, like what it is about. Add numbers a and b. Okay, and you want to know the source code. Okay, that's the complete function, because this is very small function. We will deal with, most of the time we need to write a one line code to import the libraries for the machine learning, because libraries are very well developed in Python. But sometimes to do some loop and all, we have to define the function itself. So it's not that much complex adding a number here, but yes, we are going to go through some of the a little bit more complex functions. So at that time, if you want to know something, put a double question mark, then it will give you the source code. You see here the sources. Okay, defining the entire function is showing here. So likewise, for a complex function, if you only give the question mark, it will give you where that function is and what's the source code. Okay, so the next one is the percentage run command. Okay, so what is that percentage run command? I don't feel we are going to require it. Okay, because in Jupyter it's not required. But still, just know, like if you are using something like Sublime, Sublime is nothing but a editor. Okay, where you can write your codes. I can show you. Yeah, Sublime. Okay, so if I click it, Sublime. Okay, I got something here. Okay, so whatever I need to write. Okay, so okay, so likewise, whatever I want to write, I can write my program 1 2 3 4 like this. Then I can set this file. Okay, so whatever the name I want to give. Okay, I will click it here and I will change the name. Okay, or I can go to the file, then save it like this. Whatever I want to write, what you are doing in Jupyter, the same thing you can copy to Sublime Text or PyCharm. So these are called the IDs. Okay, mostly we are not going to use it. These are required for the production. Okay, so for a data scientist, the first thing is the Jupyter. Once your code is well established, you need to just copy and paste it in your Sublime Text, and you can submit to the production team for deploying. Okay, but yes, we should know how to use it. So the same way, one, if you see here, 1 2 3 4, okay, it's a function xyz, okay, and it's what it's returning, it's returning x plus y divided by z, okay. Likewise, you have defined a function in your Sublime text, okay, and you have named it something IPython script test py. So once you put your percentage run command, okay, we'll see next. Once you put your percentage run IPython script test, this is the name of the file .py, it will run the file, okay. So the result you will get it, because there are three numbers we have passed it, x, y and z. Here you see x5, y6 and z is 7.5, okay. So we have passed it, these three numbers, and what we are getting, the result, okay. So result we are getting x plus y 5 plus 6 divided by 7.5, okay. This part, okay, you can execute IPython run, means the same function, the IPython, sorry, the percentage run, the magic command is also applicable for this, for the PyCharm and Sublime text, all these also, okay. So no need to, if you are working with the Sublime text, what I mean to say here, so no need to write your code into the, for running it, no need to use the Jupyter. You can directly go to Sublime. Once you complete it, go to your command prompt and you can put the same, you will get the result, okay. So the same thing, we can use the percentage load, okay, like percentage run to load the same function. And the thing is, if you see, there is a hash key, okay. So this hash key is nothing but when you want to comment a line, okay, when you want to write something as an explanation, okay, and you want that code not to be run, so at that time you have to put the hash key, okay. So we call it, we are commenting the line, that means this line will not be executed, okay. Okay, so the same thing like the percentage time, if you are putting something like percentage time it and a function, okay, then it will give you how much time it took, okay, to create a loop, to complete the function, everything you will get it with the time it function or the time it magic function. Why we call it magic function, okay. So wherever you are going to put the percentage, okay, we call it that magic function, because that is not inherently, you know, built for the Python. With a percentage symbol, we are asking the Python to run that one, okay. So these are the outside of the Python environment, something like it's already developed, but it's outside of the, you know, the Python's own script. Python is borrowing something, okay, from somebody and executing the work for you. So I will show you something which we are going to use it, okay. Okay, something like random forest import, okay. So I'm taking you a little bit forward, but don't worry, we are going to cover. Just a classifier is there, the name is the random forest classifier, which is very very powerful in the machine learning, okay. So this part, when we are going to use it, there is a command, and sklearn, if you see, this is the library where almost all things we will import it, okay, we will borrow it from this library for the machine learning. So same way, we, means how to use it, okay, we have to borrow it from sklearn ensemble import random classifier, okay. So this random classifier function, okay, you no need to write anything, okay, it's being built, which is stacked to the sklearn. In Jupyter, we have to write only the, from sklearn ensemble import classifier, the classifier is imported. Now you can use it, okay, with the fit function classifier, then the classifier fit function. So the same way, okay, some functions are being borrowed by the Python, somewhere it is being developed, but it's out of its own environment. But these codes we no need to write, only with the percentage symbol we are replacing the lines, okay. But in machine learning, the same way, we are borrowing the random forest from the sklearn, because here the function is built, but it's tagged to some other library, okay, and to use it we have to borrow it, okay, we have to import it. So the same way, whenever you will put the percentage sign, the Python will borrow these functions from outside of its own environment, like own shell. Okay, so the benefit is like for you, no need to define it. Okay, no need to write a complex one. Okay, the query. If you want, you can write a program, nothing but it's a dot product between np dot means it's a dot product between a and a. So you can write a program. Okay, then you run it. It's absolutely no restriction, and you can find the time it. But it's too much complex. When you are having some shortcuts, why will you go for a complex one? So this way we call it the magic commands. Okay. Then coming to the matplotlib, there is a code called matplotlib inline. This code, okay, percentage matplotlib inline is specific to Jupyter 1. Okay, you will not use it at the time of production, or you will not use it when you are copying it to your editor. Okay, so what's the function of this code? Once you write it, whatever the plot you are going to have, okay, in the Jupyter, it will be bound by the cells, means it will be in line to the cells. Okay, so that's why we require it. But even though you sometimes you miss it, no problem, it will show you. Maybe it will plot the figures out of bound, like here the cell ends, then you will get it something outside of this. No problem if you are getting it correctly. But yes, it may look odd, so there is a percentage matplotlib function. Percentage matplotlib inline. This is the entire the code. One line you have to write it when you are using matplotlib. Even we are having a class with the matplotlib, okay, and cbon. We'll see at the time. So it's like we are importing import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, that we have seen it at first, and we are plotting something plt, that the shortcut name. One more thing, once you are giving a shortcut name to any of the packages, you have to use that shortcut name. Okay, so plt dot plot, so what it is plotting, nothing, a random number. Okay, and there the cumulative sum is putting. So random number 0 to 50. Okay, and their cumulative sum it's plotting. Cumulative sum means 1 plus 2 equal to 3 plus 3 is 6. So likewise it's plotting. Okay.
JanBask training. Learn and grow.